Canada has developed a great reputation with the aerospace industry. Companies like de Havilland Canada, Bombardier with its business jets, Pratt & Whitney Canada, they're all there. Now then, what we want to know is how did they all become household names and what's so special about Canada as an aerospace hub? Well, we're joined by Mike Mueller, who's the Senior Vice President of Aerospace Industries Association Canada, that's in partnership with Invest in Canada. And Mike, I hope you're going to be able to tell us about Canada. Tell us about the association and how comes it works with Invest in Canada.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Alan and Zach. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. And I want to thank you for the opportunity. We were planning on being in Farnborough right now, and Canada is always there, as it's a great chance to have the global aerospace community gather together. And we're definitely looking forward to 2022, but I'm pleased to be here virtually today. As you mentioned, my name is Mike Mueller, here today representing Invest in Canada, as we are one of their partners. Invest in Canada promotes, facilitates, and accelerates foreign direct investment into Canada. The organization brings industry, community, and government partners together to offer seamless services that make it easy for global companies to grow their operations in Canada. So I'm absolutely pleased to be here today.
So what is it that really appeals to global investors? Why should they choose Canada to invest in?
Well, Alan, Canada is one of the lowest risk jurisdictions in the world, and maybe selfishly, one of the best places to live, I would say. It's also ranked number one in macroeconomic stability. It offers predictable political and economic landscape with open access to the world. As our Minister of Foreign Affairs has pointed out, countries are no longer defined by the size of their population, but by the size of their market access. And this has been a long-standing policy across governments, which Canada is frankly benefiting from. While Canada is a country of 36 million people, Canada is the only G7 country that offers investors preferential market access to more than 50 countries with 14 trade agreements to access 1.5 billion consumers. And Canada is a most welcoming country in the world with quality of life and ease of settling in for expats and newcomers. And Canada's policies make it easier for business to attract the talent needed to succeed in the global marketplace.
Now, Mike, at the top of the program, I mentioned some of those big, familiar Canadian names, really. But what is it that makes the aerospace sector in particular attract investors from all over the world?
Well, Alan, as you mentioned, those iconic Canadian names, and there's many more, and they're spread throughout the country. And quite frankly, Canada is an ideal location for aerospace investment, with world-class clusters in Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, Manitoba, and Atlantic Canada. Every region of our country has something to offer the world. In fact, Canada's aerospace sector is the fifth largest in the world, and globally, Canada ranks first for the production of civil flight simulators and second worldwide in business aircraft production. We ranked in the top 3 globally in the production of civil simulators, turboprops, helicopter engines, business jets, and regional aircraft. And the aerospace industry in Canada is the top research and development stakeholder among all the Canadian manufacturing industries, with investments totaling $1.4 billion just a few years ago, which contributes close to a quarter of total manufacturing research and development in Canada. The sector holds research and development intensity, which is 5 times higher than the national manufacturing average. And in 2018, the industry's $31 billion revenue contributed over $25 billion to GDP and 215,000 jobs in the Canadian economy. And major global companies have taken notice of Canada's thriving aerospace sector and have chosen this country to expand their business. One of the most recent investments was made by a company that specializes in manufacturing tubes for aerospace systems. They announced their plant manufacturing expansion in Mirabel, and the firm will grow its factory, add Industry 4.0 equipment, create new jobs, and establish a center of excellence for research and development. And the company has been granted $3 million for equipment from the Canadian government. So you can see the world is noticing and investing in Canada.
Now, you're very, very close then, obviously, to the aerospace industry as a whole. So you must get the chance to see the gaps. So what is it? If we're now at a point where we're talking to the international audience, what is it missing? What are the areas that you could do with people coming from? Is it advanced manufacturing with the AI, or is it the more traditional, the aluminium cutters? What do you need?
Well, I think it would be everything. We have the traditional manufacturing happening in Canada, so we would welcome those companies to come and supplement our supply chain here. We're also very active in AI and digitization, and actually the government has put in place some superclusters with some funding from the government to help spur those innovation on. And the innovation and the spirit of the Canadian industry here is unparalleled to none in the world.
Now, geographically, of course, you're very, very close to the USA with that huge, great border that stretches right the way across from the Atlantic to the Pacific. So that must help. And you have the North American Free Trade Agreement. Is it easier then to do business with the US if you're based in Canada than it would be if we were in Europe or in Asia?
Well, Alan, that's a great question. I was actually just on a call with my colleagues from AIA and FEMA, which is the U.S. and Mexican associations, on this very topic. And we all agreed that the new NAFTA, or CUSMA, as some people are calling it, is a very positive development. And we're committed to increasing the collaboration between our three countries. And quite frankly, the trade agreement is another selling feature for Canada, as it provides companies with preferential access to the North American marketplace. In fact, some of our companies move product between Canada and the US daily without any issue at all. So overall, we're very positive about the new NAFTA, and right now we don't see any gaps on the aerospace side of things.
Now, we're talking obviously quite a bit this week about COVID-19, and how has the aerospace industry and Canada in general, as on an industrial level, how has it fared?
Well, as you can imagine, Alan, if we were speaking just a few months ago, it would be a very different story, and it's had a very dramatic impact. Same as everywhere across the world, and we've seen that dramatic impact in the aerospace, airline, in the full aviation sector across the board. We did have a strong investment start to the year, but we know what came next. And Canada, like countries all around the globe, have suffered economic losses at the onset of COVID-19. And quite frankly, some of the projections are stark. The UN projections show foreign direct investment will be down 30 to 40% globally during 2020 and 2021. However, the strength of Canada's economy will show in how we recover. There are many reasons for me to be optimistic and hopeful here in Canada. The economic foundation Canada has built, the focus on protecting health, the extensive government support programs, and in fact, just today, the government just extended one such program until December, something AIC has been calling for. And these are proof points that Canada will experience a recovery, seeing more global investors choosing Canada as the future unfolds. For all those reasons and more, Canada is well positioned for a strong and resilient economic transition that will continue to see global investors choose the business advantages Canada offers. And quite frankly, foreign investment is critical to our recovery.
And your members, the aerospace businesses in Canada, are they comfortable they're getting the support that they would want from the government, or are you lobbying to get more for survival and growth and recovery?
Well, the government very much at the beginning was focused on the health and safety of the population, which we fully agree with and support. They have put in place some broad economic support for businesses, which our companies have been absolutely taking advantage of. And we've been advocating for those programs to be lengthened and extended because of the long lead time that aerospace has. And so we were very pleased to see today some of those programs being extended on to December, which we're very pleased about. We also, though, feel that this is not a crisis that touches one country, which is why we've been advocating at a national level for the government to really support airlines, get back into business, get back up and running in a very safe and secure way. Because at the end of the day, our airlines are the end-use customer of a lot of our product. So we are advocating on a whole host of different aspects with the government. we've been pleased so far, but there's more work that definitely needs to be done.
So at a time when we see a lot of protectionism going on in different countries, I mean, there's a lot of places trying to hold their own business in themselves. Global pandemic has added to that. Why should investors see Canada as that destination of choice?
Well, thanks, Alan. As I'd said before, one of the real strengths of Canada is the preferential market access that we do have. And that's been a long-standing policy across governments, which has been very good. And 80% of Canada's output is export-related, which is why we totally reject the idea of protectionism. But why should investors see Canada as an investment destination of choice? Well, our agile response to COVID-19 has been praised, as I talked about before. We remain stable even through a pandemic, and all levels of government are bringing their coordinated efforts together to respond and recover. Our industries have diverse talent, innovation, and policies for business owners are just some of the reasons why world-leading companies are setting up shop in Canada. And programs like the Government Strategic Innovation Fund is another example of how Canada supports businesses by providing funding for large projects. And I would say Canada's creating an environment that focuses on innovation through collaboration, and global investors are taking notice. And I will say AIC is here for global investors looking to invest in Canada. We have the relationships with Invest in Canada, who I'm here on behalf of, in addition to the Trade Commissioner Service, which has officers throughout the world willing to connect Canadian businesses to foreign investors and different opportunities that are out there.
So if you're thinking of that expansion, then Canada's the place to go to. Mike Mueller, the Senior Vice President for the Aerospace Industries Association of Canada and representing Invest in Canada, thank you very much for talking to us today.